What's good? You rocking with your boy TheCzarr, all rights reserved. The question was, who was the man in the red hoodie? Now let's examine the part and talk objectively about what we do see. So we know the big head officers in the way, the investigators blocking something that we need to see. But now let's talk about something that's more important. Whose feet do we see running away from the car? You know, the passenger's blocked up. We don't really see. We saw briefly who he went in with, but it could have been anybody. It's not clear to us. But who is the feet that we see running away from the car and getting out? And why did the men let him go? Why didn't they start firing on an individual that jumped out the car like that? Even if they said get out the car, we know the MO. They came for something. How did they know money was not on the passenger? See, that's what has me a little shaken in mentality. Like, how did that happen that way? Of course, anything could have happened in that situation. But think about it logically. Why would it happen that way and no one would attack? That makes no sense to me. I don't see how that would be some type of perspective taken or some action that's done without any type of criticism. How did that happen? I'm a little confused myself. That's what's being asked. And I'd like to know whose feet was that running away? And why did the officer's head block it when they wanted to show the video to the public? What was the purpose of that? What was the purpose? Because in that same sense, why didn't the video show Victor or anyone else? Why didn't they show him waiting outside for Tentacion? You showed outside, but you didn't show him doing what he said he was doing, which shows me that there was something funny from the beginning in it, right? Which shows me that allegedly, maybe those two that were output weren't the only investigators working on the inside, was it? What did they do to get out? And why is there still people being very sneaky with the video, showing it weird and saying, look, we showed the video. You failed. You failed. All you did was give me fuel. And you'll see a little later why. Because I'm just getting started. I'm just trying to be nice and break it piece by piece. Whose feet were running away that you didn't explicitly show to the camera that a person got out and ran on Tentacion? Why wouldn't you show that? Why would that not be prevalent? Why would that not be prevalent? Let alone the next part that I'm going to be discussing that's going to be even more serious to the video and debunk a lot of things that didn't look right. Remember I told y'all from the start when a video comes out it's going to be edited? They were skipping time periods, and we'll get to that later. There was major time periods skipped, major time skipped. And you could say, oh, it was, we had to do it quick for court. I don't care. Look at this. What if there was an officer that was pulled over and another officer was like, well, you know, I know you got pulled over. I know you were excessively drinking, but I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let that happen. What if that same officer turned in audio and video that skipped the time period from when stuff happens? Would he be turning in true video and audio to his night on duty if he pulled over an officer and tried to erase it out? Would that be showing truly what happened that night? Or would that be showing the bits and pieces he wants to be seen? Think about it. So if you show me the first, I don't know, 10 minutes of the video and skip to the last 5 minutes of the video, did you show everything? Is that sensible? We're talking about common sense right now. We're talking about what makes sense. You can't use law when it makes sense for you to prove a point, but then not show exactly what happened the entire time. That's not making sense. So if you did that to public eye in order to try and quail them to say we showed a video, were you honestly showing a video? Yes or no? That's a yes or no question. And hopefully you're not dumb enough to say yes. I mean, I could easily give you the time to understand exactly what's happening, but here's my thing. I told you there's authority worse than criminals, and now we're starting to see them surface. Are you accepting it? Are you accepting these authority worse than criminals that do and cover for other officers doing wrong, but then fully exposing and arresting everyone else? You could say, oh, but that's how it happens. Then all the individuals that do that for their own need to go down together. But I'm not really worried about when you go down together, because You're all going to go someplace together. And that's fine with me, because that's even worse. But here's the thing. If we're going to accept this video that way, if you're going to tell me that this video is credible, and you're going to prove this as something that makes sense, and you're going to tell me off the rip that this is something you respect, that this video is something you think is credible enough to deem these men justifiable to be in positions and justifiable to be in a situation that these men should go down for this video, then there's certain things you have to prove to me. Number one, prove to me in some way, shape, or fashion that these men were using the weapons you said they were. Number one. Number two, because we didn't see the weapon on the video. No one saw the weapon on the video. Number two, prove to me, not just by what they look like, lookalikes, because there was a lot of pedophiles that were let off down in Florida because of video not really looking like them. And if you guys, listen, if you play with me, I'll release names and I'll release the arresting officer. I'll do that to y'all. I'll release the arresting officer that let pedophiles go, that went on to continually assault after the fact and was caught later because of the way they did their job. I will do that to each and every one of you. And it's a lot of you. I was shocked. I mean, I looked this up. Listen, I always have things to back up and prove the worthlessness of an investigator when I directly address him. Guys, this happens in Florida a lot. I don't think you understand. And for some reason, it always involves them letting off the same race. You got to understand that. That's what I don't get. I don't know whether it's just random. I don't know whether it's just up in the air, but I have that. And I have a lot of people that could co-sign that. So going forward, I'm not really worried about what you guys are going to say. Just know that if you have anything to say and it's slight in the comments, and I know y'all watch, somebody's going to get exposed like that because you guys do it so much. Somebody's going to get rocked for doing that. And they're pedophiles. It's not even criminals, but you're rushing these men in cuffs because you're saying they shot something, but you let countless pedophiles go who went on to assault more and more kids. You don't want me to do that because that officer is going to be looked at different for the rest of his life. The rest of his life. I promise. And it's real messed up. See, you're dealing with a true Gemini. I look at things and I argue them over prospectively, and I try and give the benefit of the doubt to certain investigators. I don't mention names, as I haven't, to the two that were allegedly suspended, even though that's public. People just don't know how to look things up. And I give passes to all of you who've done wrong. But when you continue to try and play things out and not be truthful about cases, that's when I start to say, you're half doing your job and putting cuffs on people like you did a good job. But you protect your family at all costs, using the law to do so. How sick. Very sick people. But doing it that way, you're just going to make me bring things out that you never want to get out. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg with stuff I know about Broward County. Let's pause on that. I don't think you guys want it. Y'all don't want it. You've done everything I wanted you to up to now, whether you realize it or not. When you showed the video, I almost started dancing. I was like, they did what I wanted them to do. Are they stupid? Are you dumb? This video are you dumb? Kanika Jenkins showing video style, huh? Where you show parts and bits and pieces and say, oh, this happened. Oh, we just want to show where the crime happened. Nope. The true question that everyone should ask, what is it we didn't see on the video they didn't show? Now, here's my thing. The last thing you want me to do is get a hold of this video, the full video, and show it. That's the last thing you want. That's the last thing you want. So here's what I'm going to say. Release the whole video. Don't play with us. You release snippets in the court. No, release the whole video like you do of every other criminal that happens to be black all the time. It's such a normal thing. It's so funny. Hold on, I got people that want to start them.
That's good.
Whoever spoke, look, you just heard the voice of your superstar. You just heard the voice of someone that want to be on. Listen, I don't care. I'm serious about my investigations. If someone wants, this never would happen if I wasn't on video. I'll be out here all the time not on video and none of this happens. That's why I do it how I do it. I'm different with it. But Broward County, you showed snippets of a video. Don't play Kanika Jenkins style, showing video, not showing the whole truth. Because I got other people on here that you don't know about that will definitely show the edits in the video. They'll do a whole story on the edits in the video. And we'd even find out who was editing the video. Stop. Don't play. Don't play. We move different. I told you I got 100 sources. United Nations. United Nations style. That's what TheCzarr and CommenterNation is. Understand. We move different. And I'm going to be reaching out to some people here shortly, but shout to Chris A for another great viewpoint. Whose legs and feet was that running away from the passenger car? Who was that? And why did Big Head block it up? And that's not admiration for you. That's saying that your head was extremely large and we couldn't even see what was going on the other side. We couldn't. Why would you do that? And then release it like, oh, we're showing the video. No, you didn't. Show the whole